tell us your first, middle, and last name.
Middle by my maiden name or my given name?
Give us the whole shebang.
Trudy Ann Everett Tillett.
When were you born?
1950. November 1950.
Great, okay. What's your favorite flower?
Oh God, gardenia.
Yeah?
For the smell.
I do love it.
And for the looks, hydrangea.
Now, would you consider yourself a gardener?
People think I am. I'm just lucky sometimes that something lives.
So, Trudy, we have a bowl of questions here. These are all questions that you obviously have not seen, but we've collected these questions from your beautiful daughter, Amber, who's just off camera. And here over the next several minutes, we'll pull out a piece of paper, read the question aloud for us, and then you just take your time answering that question and you just be as honest as possible.
What was the first car you ever owned? I never owned a car. This one probably, no. The first car I drove that I got when I was about 17 was a 1967 Bel Air Chevrolet. But as far as a car that maybe was in my name, the first time after your daddy and I split up, that I had to go out and trade a car myself, he always took care of all that. And I'd never done it. And he kept saying, no, you got to learn to do this stuff. Go do it. Call me and ask me if you got any questions. And I went to one place, one dealership, and it was a Toyota. It was in Raleigh. I went and I knew the car I wanted, and I said, will you give me let me know how much you'll give me trade-in for my car. He said, go home and get your husband, come back and we'll talk business. And I said, thank you for your time, and I left, and I never went back. I would go back and look at cars when I was interested, test drive them, and buy them from somewhere else. That is not even the same name on that business anymore, but that just bothered me so bad that for him to say that, they showed me the cars, they gave me prices, they talked all this business with me until it's time to tell me what they were. When he saw it was serious and we were going to do business, then he wanted to talk to a man. Oh Lord. So that turned me completely off.
Good for you for taking your business elsewhere.
That's right.
He didn't deserve your business.
No, he didn't.
That's right.
He had on a nice three-piece suit. He thought he was a businessman, but wrong business for me. Who taught you to dance? I had several dance teachers as a kid. I started out when I was about 5 taking ballet. That's all they teach little kids in. I had a couple of cousins, and their mother would drive us to Wilmington. And I hated ballet, and I wanted to tap, and I had to wait to a certain age before I could tap dance. And I loved tap dancing, but you still had to keep taking ballet to take tap. Later, when I was probably 12, 13, I got in a class, a jazz class, that the teacher was a retired rockette. And a friend and I went up there, and her brother and another friend, we'd go up and have lessons there. But that, as far as just dancing, not freelance dancing like they do when you go in a bar and there's a band playing or whatever. Dance isn't something that's taught, it's something that's in you. You got it or you don't. It's just a natural rhythm you're born with. If you feel, you got to feel the music. Music will teach you to dance if you feel it. What makes me happy? I've had a lot of happiness in my life already. My dog. I love my children. And this crazy cat I got, she entertains me. But happy. I don't know, you're happy in the moment. Whatever you're doing, you're happy or you're not. I don't say there's one thing that I burst into laughter over because it's going to happen. Family as a whole makes me happy. But pretty much happy is getting enough sleep and making it to work on time. I'm proud of my children, but that's not happy, that's proud. They make me happy when I get to see them. I don't see them enough. And I love both of them equally, even though each one thinks I love the other one more than them. Equally but different. Equally but different. But I don't know, happy is just being around happy people. One thing. Around people that make you smile and laugh and think good things. And I have a lot of that in my life. different places I work, I have a connection with some people. And I like connecting with people. I can't be a sit-at-home kind of person. If I'm home, I'm asleep and I'm tired. If not, and that's not a tear. That is sweat. Saddest song you've ever heard? Oh my gosh. I think it's because of the period I was going through in my life. And I don't remember the exact title of the song, but it says, when your daddy and I split up. It says, the lines in that song says something about the saddest thing I've ever seen is my closet all cleaned out. And that was around that time. And that was sad. Because I remember when your daddy come got all his clothes out. I have these sweats turning into tears.
Oh, I'm sweating too, so it's okay.
Well, I don't remember. You have to pull that up and play it. It's not so sad to me anymore. Because we did, after I passed all the anger, we were good friends. Good friends. So, like I said, the night he died, I told my boyfriend at the time when he was consoling me that I lost him twice.
During such a time of turmoil and grief, how do you put one foot in front of the other? How do you heal from something like that? In your experience?
Well, there were several things. When we first split up, I was having a tough time emotionally. Even though I told him to leave, I didn't expect him to.
Yeah.
And he left, and I was shocked that he left, and it took a lot of dealing. And shortly afterwards, he was living with a woman that he worked with. And from where I worked, their apartment wasn't far down the street. When I go home, I'd go this way, but sometimes I would ride that way, and I could look up in the cul-de-sac where their apartment was and see the cars. And I couldn't afford to go to a psychiatrist for therapy or anything, but I was going to a doctor for treatment for other things, and I got to dealing with my emotions and stuff, and he was trying to help me with depression. But one time I was telling him about it, I said about going home and going by there and look. He said, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you ride by there? I said, because when I do, it makes me mad. And I'd rather be mad than hurt. He said, well, that makes sense.
Agree.
So I stayed mad a long time.
Sure.
To keep from hurting. Do you know how much your daughter loves you? I think so. Because generally what I have found in my whole life, feelings are mutual. Whether it's somebody you meet for the first time, whether you like them or not, what impression you have of them, generally, if it's somebody you deal with every day at work or just in the grocery store, generally however you feel about that person is how they feel about you. I found that through my whole life. That's just the way it is. And I know you love me because I know how much I love you. So if that feeling's mutual, you got to know how much I love you.
I do.
Oh, best advice I ever got. I'm sure I got plenty, but I was probably out talking them, so I wasn't listening. I was told one time this guy I was going with, don't marry him. And I said, don't worry. What did your mother get right about motherhood? My mother? As far as I'm concerned, this turned out good. All my brothers and sisters, not that we're model citizens, the best, but we are good people, trusting, honest, good, giving people who raise kids the same way. It had to come from somewhere else. When people ask me about my kids, I don't know why. They just grew up that way. I don't feel like I did anything special. I just feel like I was just lucky and got ones that turned out to be good. What did I get right about motherhood? That's something you should answer. I don't know that I got anything right. I did like for us to sit down and eat a meal together. No TV, We all sit down, and that's really the only time we come together and sit and talk. People are nowadays, we didn't have texting when y'all were coming along, but I always felt it was important to sit down to the dinner table together and talk to each other. I like to hear somebody's voice, and I like to see their expression on their face, no matter if it's good or bad. I like to see the emotion or whatever, the feelings of the moment. And like I said, Amber and I had this conversation a little earlier today. People are losing the personal touch. They aren't people to people anymore. Person to person, it's gadget to gadget, device to device. So, who's the robot? You or the device? Sorry I didn't spend more time with you. I remember so many times I come down and Rhonda was, let's go do this, let's go do that. Hey Mom, how's it going? Let me put my stuff in, let me touch up and make it, let's go to the beach. Or I'd bring friends and we'd go out. Or she'd call, when you coming home again? And I was like, I'm working overtime this weekend. I got a chance to make some more money. Some overtime. I want to make all that overtime so I can redo the house, travel, have fun. But I was thinking, all my other brothers and sisters are right here. She sees them all the time. I'm just one. I feel guilty about my part, not doing more. I kept thinking I had more time. And I was in Raleigh and the rest of them take care of. When I get down there and I get a house, I'll be there. I'll make up for it. And I didn't get to. She was gone before I retired. She wasn't here anymore. So, make the best of what you got. Don't have the regrets I've got about that. I never thought I would. People used to joke, oh, you're going to be just like your mama. As sisters, you're like mama. You're going to be just like, no, I ain't going to be like, you're going to be like. The thing is, that's such a bad thing.